Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Stacy. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about This Ain't My First Rodeo. This book does not get enough attention. If you haven't read it already, go pick it up. I really love that book, but I will give it a chance and see, Kindle. I downloaded originality 5 out of 5. I am excited to share with you the newest book that I read. Yep. So this ain't my first rodeo. This book was my book club book of the month for last month, and it was 318 pages. It was a young adult book, but don't get me wrong, this book had a little bit of a young adult romance to it, but new age, 19-year-old. They start off young and 5 years later they get back to whatever. So I will say I did read the hardcover of this book. Hardcover, meaning I started April 1st. I finished April 4th. It was pretty easy for everybody to read. We picked it because our brain has just been wrecked reading all these books and stuff that's out, and we just wanted something simple. So let me read the synopsis for y'all. They don't meet under the best circumstances, and they definitely don't like each other at first. But luckily, this ain't their first rodeo. That's what it says on the back. And we picked this book because this author, they were talking about the details of this book, how this is impossible and this was too short and all these different things the Hearts people was complaining about with this one. I actually love the cover. It was good with me. I love the edges. Love the edges of this book. It says 1, junior bull riding champion, 1 restaurant heiress, 1 wild ride. 2, second chance at love. 3, years have slipped by since Josie and Sean's world first collided between the glittery lights of the Houston Rodeo Carnival, since the sweet stolen moment when it felt like nothing could ever come between them. 4, 5, 6. So you know that song 1. Here goes 2 to the 3 to the 4, 5, 6, 7. Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. I think it's like a Shabuzi type song. And that's what this kind of says in there. That's what I'm getting from the synopsis, how they wrote it. Just the details in this book is giving in itself. So I'll say this ain't our first rodeo. Would I read it again? No. Did the book club members like it? Yes. Would I recommend it for adults to read it? Yes, adults. And I'll say teenage. It's like a clean romance with with no smut. So that's when I say when it's romance and they put too much smut in that book, not for me. This one, I would recommend it to new readers and people who want to read something that's very diverse, and it puts you in the insight on a different culture. If you're looking to read a little bit of something Southern, but not historical fiction type Southern, but more of like Texas vibes. That's what I would say. This one gave Texas ranch vibes, responsibilities for young adults, and generational curse being broken. I would say this had a miscommunication trope in there. The trauma and all the things that happened in this book, it was kind of off. It caught us off guard, but we really enjoyed how it wrapped up. And this is going to be a movie or a show on Disney. So she did her thing. This lady, Laura Tamani, I think that's her name, grew up in Houston, Texas, where every spring meant one thing: rodeo season. She loved getting decked out in her best cowgirl gear. That sounds funny. Soaking up the music, the food, and the electric energy of the rodeo. A joy she now shares with her daughter and her husband. Her deep Texas roots shine through her storytelling, capturing the spirit and rhymes of the state in her acclaimed novel. She attended Harvard Law School. I sound so country today, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with me. Harvard Law School. And worked as a marketing coordinator for the Houston Rockets. And comments I'm just country girl. Y'all just gonna have to go ahead and get with it. I hear it in myself today, which is a mess. Anyways, a television producer, assistant, a home accessories designer, and a floral designer, and a yoga and dance teacher. She holds a MFA in writing from Vermont College and Fine Arts and a BA from Duke University. So this is pretty cool. Her writing was simple. It was nice. It was flowing. It was not repetitive, and it was original. I gave this writing style a 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 readability. Relatability, I say like a 3.5 relatability. Personal impact, I say 1 out of 5. The book club said 4 out of 5. Originality, 5 out of 5 for sure. The plot, 5 out of 5. The book club gave it a 4 out of 5. So overall, this book to us was like a 4 out of 5. It had 1 out of 5 spice. And it was just a well-written Black story without extreme trauma. And the overall takeaway was taking a risk for someone in love, just take that risk and respect each other's hobbies too. Say like my hobby is the books, Blake's hobby is the boxing or whatever. Respect each other's hobbies, and then y'all can come together. So like when I'm recording, I don't want him to interrupt me. When they're training, each of these people in this book, they respected each other to where they didn't interrupt each other with the training. So we did like that. What wasn't my cup of tea was one of the cousins, her animosity was in the book. We were just like, girl, that's simmered down a little bit, but it was pretty good. The favorite quote out of this book was, you basically made it impossible to fall in love with anyone else. And that was by Sean. And then his relationship with his stepdad, it's like, you gotta read it to find out. But we enjoyed this book overall. Yep. That's all I got for this one. This Ain't Our First Rodeo. Up next, I have Student Union by Julie Murphy. So this book, it was 289 pages. Julie Murphy, I feel like she's so underrated. I don't know, maybe because I'm new to her, but this is a new age, new adult romance. Yeah, I'm in my Lover Girl summer already. This book came out May 5th, 2026, this year. So it just came out. So the synopsis for this thing, how she wrote this book, I don't know if it's just how it's written, but so here you go. Bennett Andrews Graves is the only heir of the Graves Coffee empire. After spending his first year at Wexley squeaking by in class, becoming personally acquainted with female student body, he's looking forward to living off campus until the girl he grew up with, to whom he completely devastated 3 years ago, walks back into his life. The most absurd questions he's ever heard. Will you marry me? Bennett, look how cute this is, y'all. So Bennett can't refuse Clover. He owes her this, but that doesn't change the fact that the two can barely carry on a conversation without getting at each other's throat. Forget about sharing a dorm, much less one bed. But as Clover and Bennett hides the true nature of their marriage, they find that playing house isn't all that bad, especially with certain maternal benefits in the mix. In fact, Clover and Bennett are forgetting the most important part about their fake marriage of convenience, that it's supposed to be fake. This marriage was supposed to be fake. I thought it was the cutest thing. And it says the tropes: only one bed, marriage of convenience, hurt and comfort, grilled cheese for foreplay, next level penny. I don't know what that means. Forced proximity. My husband. They were my husband to you to death. My wife, my husband. He falls first and he gets antsy about it. Inappropriate use of library stacks. Yes. Campus romance. I don't know what PNW vibes are. And then he gets my wife. And a meddlesome mother. Marriage of convenience. This book, y'all, it had me like rubbing my feet together. It was good. They did have some smut in there. Julie Murphy was like a dream. She gave me this. I didn't read this book. I haven't read this one. Vera Stern is fine. And it's like a picture of this girl and her Pomeranian. But it's a picture of her. You probably could see it by the pool. I might read that one too. And I got these stickers to go with this book. And she gave out these drop dates for the book when it came out. Let me see. So Clover, that's the main female. She gets a full ride to her dream school at the university. Conquering the school of business. Say goodbye to the paycheck to paycheck life she and her mom had for years. Yeah, there you go. There's just one hiccup. With the first semester rapidly approaching, Clover learns her housing grant has fallen through, but a loophole presents itself. Married couples can live in the dorm for the price of one student. Clover is willing to sacrifice the sanction of marriage, even if it means proposing to the one person she swore she'll never speak to again. So this author is very good at writing up these tropes. This was a forced proximity, touch her and die, marriage of convenience, friends to lovers, he falls first. And I received this as an ARC. I was not paid to read this book. I got it at BookCon for sure. I love romance novels. And I read this May 1st through May 5th. Would I read it again? No. Would I recommend this book? Yes. I would recommend this to like a girl's girl or like somebody that's new to romance that wants something easy that has some smut in it. And she gets down. This girl, they get down in this book now. I ain't about to play with y'all. I would not recommend this to Blake or any guys because it's like a girly girl book. He would be like, okay, this is boring, whatever. Things that resonated with me, the college life, her friends, her circle of friends in college was good. I liked it. With Julie Murphy, I think her writing style is so comforting. I read If the Shoe Fits by her. And this one, I still think about it. It was a retelling of Cinderella. I started bedazzling this book. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, the bedazzled. But she don't get enough attention to me. So I did match with her, my dress and my book. That's how T.D. she does it. Oprah Winfrey matches the book cover with her outfits when she go and do book tours. So yeah, I love that. Love the cover. The aesthetics of this book was great. She gave me all of that merch for it as well. She's funny as hell. She is body positive and she's smart. I like how she puts it together, and it's just comforting and satisfying and to the point. Her writing style for me, 5 out of 5. Readability, 5 out of 5. Relatability, 5 out of 5. Personal impact, 0 out of 5. I got no personal impact out of this. The plot, I'll say about a 4 out of 5. And originality, probably a 5 out of 5. I liked all the tropes in this one. And I loved how this one was Cinderella. I love the Cinderella trope in this one. Very good. What wasn't my cup of tea? Those smut scenes, y'all. They were going a little too hard for me in the smut scenes. And it was just, but it was done right. It was done right. It's just not my thing. And I would say overall, this book is like a 4 out of 5 for me. Would I recommend it to a friend? Absolutely. Yes. Both of these. Yes and yes. And yes. Now, let's jump into this one. It is a love song by Ricky Wilde. I will say this book tripped me out. It came out 2024, and I started reading this book May 5th. I finished May 11th. It is a contemporary romance. Would I read it again? No. Would I recommend this book? Yes. Who would I recommend it to? People who likes good old fashioned, not old fashioned, but a good old to the point love, romance, some smut in there for sure. But this had a twist to it to where it was historical fiction. And I like the aspect that she put her spin on this and didn't make it boring. Like, I felt like the flower shop, everything in Harlem, you felt like you was there. And I love the twist in a love story. Emotions and characters, that thoughts that they brought up with me. Find your own way, no matter where you come from and your past. Like, you still, there's life ahead of you to move forward. I love turning a new leaf type situation. I just bopped myself in the head with the book. Anyways, I like her writing style. Tia Williams, love her down. She's going to be in New Orleans on June 26th, but I don't think I'm going to go see her in New Orleans at Bowen & Co. because I don't want to seem like no stalker. I already got the book signed. Now I'm showing up. I'm not no super fan. It's a Thursday night, so if my friends want to go, any of my book club members want to go, I will go with them. But, and it's for her new book that I got as an ARC. And it is the I'm reading on my Kindle, but it came with this bookmark. I love the bookmark for it. And let me show it to y'all real quick. I just changed my Kindle case, but I'll show y'all. I'll put it back in. Since I'm not reading it physically, I just put my bookmark in there. And it's the Misconnection. Look how cute that is. I don't know if you can see it. The Misconnection. And it came with this boarding pass. She's so cool. And I got that at BookCon for sure. But let's get back on the love song for Ricky Wilde. So I love her writing style. Like I said, she's that girl. Everything they say she is, everything that she believes she is, she's that girl. I do recommend you go and buy this book. Her writing style to me is comforting too, and she's like a girl's girl, and she knows how to write a strong female character, an older character, and she also knows how to write a man, like a man's perspective that doesn't have a feminine tone, you know. Her writing style, 5 out of 5. Readability, 5 out of 5. Relatability, 4 out of 5. Personal impact, 3 out of 5. Originality, 5 out of 5. She has some Harlem Renaissance in this book too. And then the plot for me was like a 4 out of 5. What I liked about this book the most was the switch up in genres. This was not young A. This was definitely adult romance. And what wasn't my cup of tea was all of the subplots. You had his life going, her life going, the grandma's life going, and her friend Tuesday. By the way, I do have a cousin named Tuesday. I like that name, Tuesday. And too many lives. Her sisters back where she's from, and her dad and his business, and the main female character. They just had a lot going on with each one of these people. To me, that was like a lot. Overall, I gave this book a 4 out of 5. Spice, I say like a 3.5, 4 out of 5. Would I recommend this to a friend? Yes. This book, it had 342 pages. It was a contemporary romance. I read 7 Days in June. I read The Perfect Find. And this is my third Tia Williams book. And I think 7 Days in June is going to be a show. The Perfect Find was the show. And this one is getting some buzz. It might be a show too. I don't know just yet. It might. But I can't rank them, y'all. Like, I can't rank them. I guess since it was my first one reading by her, it would have to be The Perfect Find. And I like that weird trope in that one. It's just me. I might be in like I ain't like how it ended or something. Something was off about it. This one was the most twisty, I feel. And it had layers of story in this book. Different layers of stories in this book. So let's read a synopsis. Ricky Wilde. Wait. One florist, one pianoist, one true. Let me start over. Y'all know I'll be struggling. One florist, one pianoist. I keep saying piano. One piano.
A few moments later.
One pianist. That's a hard word to say for me. Blah. Anyways, one love story, 100 years in the making. Okay. Ricky Wilde has many talents, but being wild isn't one of them. As the impulsive, artistic daughter of a powerful Atlanta dynasty, she's the opposite of her famous socialite sisters, where they are long stem roses. She's a dandelion, an adorable bloom that's actually a weed, born to float wherever the wind blows. In her bones, Ricky knows that somewhere a different, more exciting life awaits her. When a regal see that part, y'all gotta read it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Miss Della invites her to rent the bottom floor of her Harlem brownstone. Ricky jumps at the chance for a fresh beginning. She leaves behind her family's wealth and chaotic romantic decisions to realize her dream of opening a flower shop in New York City. And just beneath the surface of her neighborhood, the new music, stories, and dazzling drama in the Harlem Renaissance still simmers. One evening in February, curiously off-season scent of a night-blooming jasmine fills the air. Ricky encounters a handsome, deeply mysterious stranger who knocks her world off balance in the most unexpected way. Set against the backdrop of the contemporary Harlem in 1920s, a love song for Ricky Wilde is more of a modern fairy tale of two passionate artists drawn to the magic romance of New York and who lives life irreversibly linked. So this is Tia Williams. She has shorter hair now and it's light brown. She's on Instagram too. She had a 15-year career as a beauty editor for a magazine in Elle, Glamour, Lucky, Teen People, and Essence. In 2004, she pioneered a beauty blog industry with her site Shake Your Beauty. That's cute. The best-selling author of Accidental Diva, the It Chick series, and The Perfect Find. Now a Netflix film starring Gabrielle Union. Her latest novel, 7 Days in June, was an instant New York Times bestseller. Reed's book club pick. A TV series adaptation is developing with Will Packer. Tia Productions. Tia lives with her daughter and her husband in Brooklyn. Very nice. Emily Henry, she had a quote. Emily Griffin had a quote about her. Kennedy Ryan, Robin Lee. Everybody has something good to say about this book. And I will say this book to me was very well written, and I would recommend, yes, to reading if you haven't already. Last but not least, Keeper of Lost Children. I returned this book to the library. Y'all see me rushing when I came back from my trip, but I want to give a review on it as well. So Keeper of Lost Children was by Sadiqa Johnson. And y'all know I'm a Sadiqa Johnson stans. I have this one. I need to go pick up my book from my uncle who has The Yellow Wife. And Keeper of Lost Children was a historical fiction. I had the hardcover of that book. I read it because I love Sequel Johnson, and it came out like this year. I had to read it. I read it April 23rd through April 30th. Would I read it again? No. Would I recommend it? Yes. That book is about the military in Germany and the mixed race children and their destinies. So I'll just leave it at that with no spoilers. What resonated with me, I would say finding out who you are deep to your core and what's inside of you. That was like one of the themes that came along with me. And of course, it's historical fiction, so they dealt with race and romance and trauma bonding and alcoholism and different things like that. Yes, I will say the author's writing style is always a 5 out of 5 for me, but this one, it was kind of like a 3 out of 5. Something was off about it. Readability, 2 out of 5. Personal impact, 3 out of 5. Relatability, 3 out of 5. Originality, 5 out of 5. Plot, 1 out of 5. I did not care for that plot, y'all. I don't know what it was about it, but it was, I guess, the army or whatever they were doing overseas just wasn't my cup of tea. Overall, I gave the book like a 3 out of 5. And in order, I'll say The Yellow Wife is number 1 for me. House of Eve is number 2. And then The Keeper of Lost Children is number 3. But I gave it 3 out of 5, but I would say I would still recommend that book. And my bar for her is so high, and I just read like her, so I'm not waiting for her to fail anything like that. I just like really, really love those other two, and I like this one. So 4, 5, 3.5. So that's my take on Keeper of Lost Children. This is so random. This book I've been seeing all over the place. I got it from TJ Maxx for $14.99, but it has been trending. This book came out 2025, and it's Heart the Lover. And Heart the Lover is by Lily King. I have no idea what this book is about, because y'all know I just be grabbing books, but look at it. Pretty. And Heart the Lover, I'm going to try and finish this book today or in the morning. So, and I started Reformatory this morning. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm on chapter 5. It's going pretty well, but I'm about to pause this book and see if I can finish this one today. Wish me luck. What is it about? Our narrator understands good love story, their secrets, subtext, and their highs and free falls, but the greatest love story, the one she lived, never followed the simple rules. In the fall of her senior year of college, she meets 2 star students from her 17th century lit class, Sam and Yash, best friends living in the elegant house of a professor on sabbatical. The boys invite her into their intoxicating world of academic fervor, rapid fire banter, and raunchy game cards. They nickname her Jordan, and she quickly discovers the pleasures of friendship and her own intellectual ambition. But youthful passion is unpredictable, and soon she finds herself in the center of an enticing triangle. As graduation comes and goes, choices made will alter 3 lives forever. Decades later, the vulnerable days of Jordan's youth seems comfortably behind her, but when a surprise visitor and unexpected news brings the past crashing into the present, she returns to the world she left behind and most comfort her deceptions of her younger self. Written with the superb wit and emotional, sensitive fans, critics of Lily King have come to adore. Heart the Lover. Its deeply moving love story. It celebrates literature, forgiveness, and transformative bonds that shapes our lives. Wise, unforgettable, with the delightful connection thread of writers and lovers is the king at very best, affirming her masterful chronicles of human experience, one of the finest novelists at work today. Oprah has a blurb on it. This latest masterpiece of the author of The Writers and Lovers of Euphoria captures. Did she write Euphoria? Okay, we're about to find out. Wish me luck, y'all. Let me see if I can read this today.